Blackouts and earthquakes. In New York City is a warning. The blackout is coming. California on the 4th of July and the 5th of July. Ridgecrest and Searless had their big one. 6.4 on the 4th of July and 7.1 on the 5th of July. That was their big one. It acted as a warning to LA. How many Angelenos are going to take the warning that they did not deserve? Who knows? I do know in my capacity I've used the opportunity to share with literally hundreds of people in real life, and now whoever checks in online, about what to do when an earthquake hits. Because again, this was a warning that California didn't deserve, but it absolutely was lucky enough to get. Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel, where the party is just getting started. Current events looked at through a skeptical eye using science, history, and sometimes humor to explore the events of the day. Let's get down to business. So, I will get to the blackout stuff in just a minute as far as the earthquake stuff goes. If you are in an area that is earthquake prone, maybe even tornadoes and twisters, this would affect you as well. When the earthquake comes, make sure you stay far away from any glass that has the opportunity to shatter. If you're in bed when it happens, stay in bed. Use the pillow to cover your head. Hopefully your bed isn't close to a window that's going to shatter. If you're on bunk beds, hopefully they're nailed together, because if you're in anything over a 6, they're coming apart. If you are downtown or around big structures, the safest place to be, not to be confused with a safe place, because a safe place is nowhere near an earthquake, but the safe place is to lean yourself up against a large wall so that the glass that should happen to shoot out will shoot out away from you. If you're like anybody else I've been dealing with, they say, well, what if the wall collapses? Then you die. You will die if you are far away from the wall, because the glass is going to turn you into a hamburger and then the wall will crush you. So at least you got a better chance. Also, choosing corners of walls is a safer place than just alongside a flat piece of wall, because corners are the strongest. If anybody's ever taken cards and made a house out of them, bam, there you go. Let's see, what else? You need enough water for 3 weeks. Searless has been without water for over a week, so if you only got enough water for 3 days, you're dead. So have lots of water. Also, what happens if you get trapped under a collapsed building, but hey, you're lucky enough to survive? Most people told me they would scream. Like, okay, well, now you're dead because you just used up all the oxygen and you sucked in inhalants that killed most people after 9/11. So no, screaming is not what makes people get rescued if they're trapped underneath of a structure. What you do is you wrap with your hand. It takes barely any energy, virtually no air, and always when they find people that are trapped underneath, it's from tapping, not from screaming. And I also remind people, hey, there's 7 million people in LA. After they go to the hospitals to see if they're functioning, they will go to the schools if they were in operation. And don't forget all of the people that are in the earthquake. That includes the first responders. They're trapped by the same bad roads, the same dead people, and the same destroyed vehicles. So they will go to the hospitals, make sure they're functioning first, then they'll go to the schools. After that, it's pretty much anybody else's guess. 7 million people. It's a lot. Okay. What else? I guess that's the most important stuff. Stuff people didn't think about. You're going to need water for at least 3 weeks for each person in your house. A lot of people said, oh, I've got this thing to convert the swimming pool water into drinking water. To which I pointed out, obviously that is going to be a last case scenario, and you're also hoping that the swimming pool doesn't crack and drain. So there goes that plan. The blackout. And Douglas McKinnon points out that the blackout is coming, because he predicted it last week. Well, it's easy to predict. And he talks about how, you've got, without electricity, our very survival is dependent. He talks about how a tree branch wiped out electricity in Ohio to over 50 million people in the United States and Canada with cascading blackouts that were very vulnerable. Especially in this world where people are unbelievably addicted to the smartphones. I was joking that when they find all the bodies in LA after the earthquake, they're all going to be huddling their smartphones. It's amazing how many people told me that if they were trapped under a building, they'd just use their smartphone to get out. I'm like, yeah, the cell towers are going to be the first thing to fall down. That addiction is really melting people's minds. Anyway, so I'm just using this opportunity as a warning, like Doug McKinnon is. Know what to do with a blackout. Can you survive a blackout that lasts over a week? Because a blackout is caused also by earthquakes. If you're in an earthquake-prone area, can you survive 3 weeks. Do you know what to do after a big one? Because everybody I know knew what to do before. Most knew what to do during. Nobody knew what to do after a severe quake hit. Nobody. Okay. Let's see. What else? Doug McKinnon. Oh, same thing with the blackouts. Same thing with tornadoes. I'm sure you guys are way more up on it than the earthquake folk are, because you get confronted with it far more often than we do with earthquakes, which is actually not a good thing on our part, because the earthquake situation is the more pressure that builds up. I was really, really disheartened to find out that the one on the 4th of July and 5th of July was in San Andreas, because that means our tension is still building, and oh, it's going to suck. It's going to suck bad. Okay, anyways, I just wanted to pop in and put this out there for you guys. I've got to get back to work. I hope your summer is going great. I will post more stuff as soon as the summer classes are over. But take care. We hope you enjoyed the content, and if you did, feel free to like, subscribe, come on back anytime. You're always welcome here as part of the family, and we'll see you in the future.